Welcome to the Rachel Farrell Show, where we talk about real estate, real marketing, and real life. I'm your host, Rachel Farrell. I'm so excited to be back for season 2 of the Rachel Farrell Show. We have restructured this a little bit. My friend Trent and I, we sat down, had some talks over at the Alley on Main because Trent's too bougie for Huddle House now.
That is a thing.
It is a thing. The very first season of the Rachel Farrell Show, we met in Shovelville at Huddle House, and I have the picture to prove it. And we looked like we were having a great time.
It was a great time.
I thought we were having a great time.
The food was great. The vibes were great. It was just, just making a special trip just to go to Huddle House.
I guess.
That seemed like a lot at the time. Like, you're going to be up here. Why don't we go have
in retrospect,
food,
I guess,
like lunch
you're right.
somewhere? But yeah.
That's hilarious.
Pumped to have you back.
I'm super pumped to be here. We had big plans for season 1, and I still love season 1. Like, I think it was a blast. But as we were sort of re-envisioning what season 2 looked like in order to make it, honestly, a little bit easier on the two of us, we needed to do it in studio. And so that's what we're doing here. And after having many lunches where Trent and I just have a blast, we were like, let's do a co-host thing.
Happy to be here.
I'm so glad. I like having a sounding board. You know, it's a lot easier than just talking to yourself.
Absolutely.
Sounding board off of myself can be rough sometimes. So
I feel
this is good. This is very good.
We can be each other's sounding board because we both need it.
Literally have a soundboard as well.
Yeah, that is right beside me.
I love it. Yep. I asked Trent if he would be willing to say some words about himself, and he said no.
I mean, I'll do a quick little thing.
Yeah, because I put you on the spot. I was going to. The second you said no, I was like, I'm going to ask him anyway.
That's careful what you wish for. I'm Trent Denson, founder of Spread the Positive, STP Productions, where we have the mission of bringing light to what's going right, and we like to showcase and facilitate things that are making a positive impact in our local communities and beyond. How about that? I've been practicing.
I was gonna say
that's my official pitch.
I feel like that's something that you would do, like as you're driving down the road. You just say it over and over again.
I've been to a lot of networking groups, so
I love it.
I've been doing it, so that's the whole thing. Man, the multiple angles. I wish you could see yourself. You look. I mean, we're killing it right now.
I'm so glad
the people
to hear
need
that.
to know. The people need to know that we're doing great.
I'm sure I made a stank face. You were like the multiple angles. I'm like, are they good? Is it my good side?
They're great.
That's hilarious. I have this thing where I do think about, like, okay, so you just said that my mission is to help people live outside of their mortgage by buying homes they can afford and using the rest of their resources to live the life of their dreams.
Wow. Off the top like that.
Right? It's because I talk to myself all the time. So there was one time in college that I was talking to myself in my car, and I had accidentally dialed somebody's number and got their voicemail. And I didn't know that was happening. And like, they sent me the voicemail and they were like, hey, I think you butt dialed me. Also, do you talk to yourself all the time?
Yeah.
It's like,
I've done that too.
I really do.
Thank goodness. Some of the bad ones could have been real bad.
It could have been.
Could have been real bad.
It could have been.
I have some pretty heated conversations with people that are not there.
This conversation should have happened 10 years ago, but it didn't.
Facts.
Oh man, they make stuff for that. I think we all need a little bit of it.
Right.
So the format of the show is going to be just funsies. We're just going to have funsies every week. We're going to talk about different things that are happening in life. We're going to obviously talk about things that are happening in real estate. And then we're going to release a new episode every other Tuesday. So you're listening to this on a Tuesday or whatever point throughout the week.
Yep.
If you want to hear a new episode, then hang tight because in 2 weeks you're going to get another one. Feel like that's going to be a lot of fun. If you ever hear something that you're like, I want you to talk about that more, or hey, I saw something on your Instagram that this was super hilarious or super neat, like just give me more things on that. Absolutely, I'd be happy to. I love feedback. So that is that. Let's jump into what happened this summer, because we really are like recapping. It's August right now. This will be released in September, but the boys just went back to school. We had a blast this summer. I told you a minute ago the whole spiel of my mission. And one of the biggest things that I try and do is share, like, not only do I want to help you live outside of your mortgage, we are actively trying to live outside of ours as well, which is ironic considering we just bought a new roof. So probably not going to live outside of the roof for a while.
That's pretty necessary.
They are necessary.
I mean, a roof of your house. Come on.
They are. And well, what was funny is that we replaced it because there were leaks. Like, it was time. It needed to be done. Insurance helped a lot, which was good.
Nice.
But also it was really super ugly. Like, it was red and the gutters were red. And Nick was like, fundamentally, we need a new roof. And I was like, I am so glad that you said that because I completely agree.
There you go.
Let's completely change the look of our house.
I love
So,
it.
anyway,
Your house is awesome, by the way.
I love my
I
house.
do too.
It
So
has
cool.
been,
All one level and
yes.
Ranchy McGee style. I
Listen,
just said Ranchy McGee.
you
Sorry
did say
about that.
Ranchy McGee.
Sorry about that.
Rachy McGee lives in a Ranchy McGee
Get out of
house.
here. Get out of here.
We had a 2-story house before that, and I fell down the stairs and broke my foot. So we decided pretty quickly after that. What was funny about that? Now I can openly share that story and it not be total embarrassment. Backtrack,
I
still
broke
super
my leg falling
embarrassing.
off steps too.
Listen.
There was only 2 of them too, so don't be
Ooh,
embarrassed. It really hurt.
that's worse.
Try not to step on a Rooski, you know?
Yeah. A Cammy Rooski.
Yep,
I was
that's
like,
my
a can
dog.
of what? A Cammy?
Rooski.
Your dog.
Yep, shouts to Cammy.
She's so
She's
cute.
the best.
Except for whenever she broke your leg.
Yeah,
So,
that was costly.
I bet it was.
Yep.
So Logan was like maybe 9 months old, and my husband does medical imaging, and so like if he's gonna get on a roof, like something's wrong with the roof. Like he has seen so many people from rooftops. There are certain medical procedures that we just do not do in our house because of the problems that he has seen, and we do not co-sleep because he has witnessed and seen the results of what co-sleeping can do. So, I like to go sleep with my babies. And when they were little, we would take naps together and it was so great. And Logan was asleep in the bed. And this was before I realized he was going to be my um, adventurous child. I was going to say problematic, but we're not going to put that on him. He's adventurous. And I, for some reason, decided I needed to go up the stairs. It's like a bonus room up there. So I decided to go up the stairs and like print something printed out. So I got it off the printer and I was on my way back down the stairs. Logan rolls off the bed, hits the side table, and is on the ground, like crying. And so, of course, like there are so many things going through my mind. Like Nick was right. The kid's probably broken something. I'm terrified. This is horrible. What have I done to my child? I'm running down the stairs, like speeding down the stairs. I ended up like skiing down the stairs and hit the baby gate at the bottom. Totally snapped like a bone in my foot. I was totally fine, really.
What else? What else are we gonna talk about?
Oh no, we're gonna keep going. We have to finish this one.
No.
So I get to the kid, and Logan's sitting there, and there's coffee on the ground, and he's laying on the ground, and he sees me, and he smiles so big because I'm telling you, he is my adventurous child. He smiles. I'm like checking him, like doing the whole thing, making sure, like, are you okay? He's totally fine. And then I grab my foot because it starts hurting, and I was like, I think that I have broken my foot, but Nick, who is in medical imaging, fundamentally is against babies sleeping in beds, and I wasn't going to tell him what I'd done. So he's asleep on the couch. It was his first night of night shift, and I was like, "Hey, Nick, I think I broke my foot." And he says, "There's no way you broke your foot." I was like, "I really like I fell down the stairs and I hit my foot on the baby gate, and I think I broke my foot." And he was like, "There's no way that the force of you just casually falling down the stairs. What happened?" And I was like, no big deal.
Nothing major.
I'm good.
Nothing major.
So I get Logan in the car. It's my right foot. Remember this, my right foot. I get Logan in the car and I call my mom on the way to the walk-in clinic. And I was like, Mom, I just want to let you know that Logan is perfectly fine. I think I broke my foot. And I haven't told Nick, and I'm going to need you to meet me at the walk-in clinic. I said, and you're going to carry this to your grave. Nick is never going to know.
No, you drove yourself?
Yeah, man.
Wow.
So I get to the clinic in Tullahoma, and the x-ray tech in the Tullahoma office is not there. And they were like, if you're going to get an x-ray, you're going to have to go to Shelbyville. So I drive from Tullahoma to Shelbyville, and I get an x-ray, and the tech looks at me, and they're not allowed to tell you anything. I mean, it's like, they can't tell you anything. You have to be diagnosed by a doctor. And I get off the table, and she was like, maybe don't step on it. And she was like, is somebody here to get you? Like, maybe you don't just need to leave. Like, I think I'm going to put you in a room and see. And I was like, is it broke? And she was like, I can't.
Yes.
Maybe you need to stay.
Oh my gosh.
And I get to the room. I had completely splintered my 5th metatarsal bone.
No.
It was this bone. You can see it on my hand, on my right foot. Ouch. And so I call Nick. We're in the Sonic drive-thru now, and I'm crying because I'm like, I'm going to have surgery on this thing, which I didn't, thank goodness. And I was like, I have snapped my 5th metatarsal bone. I'll send you the image. And he was befuddled.
Befuddled.
Totally confused. How on earth could she have done this?
Oh boy.
Oh, yeah, it was a whole thing. 9 months later, I stood in the kitchen and I cried, and I was like, "I have to tell you something."
That's so funny.
I can't. That was the
You're
longest,
probably the worst. You're
I
the
think.
worst liar of all time,
I
probably.
couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I mean, he knew something was up, but
Yeah.
he was like, "In her own time, she will tell me."
Yeah.
And anyway, I did. The orthopedic doctor was like, "You are a walking bone, like broken bone
Ouch.
problem." Because of because I'm a white female with low vitamin D. So
Hey,
it's
that's
just,
what is that?
part of
Yeah.
being who
Need
I am
iron or something?
fundamentally. No, it wasn't iron, it was
No.
vitamin D.
Oh.
It was like way super low. So he upped that.
Is vitamin D sunshine? You
It's
need sunshine?
sunshine. But he said that even like people in Florida will run around like naked all the time in the sunshine and they still have vitamin D deficiencies.
Oh, that's something.
It is something,
Wow.
right? Anyway, uh, so we like to go camping.
That's quite the segue. Broken feet.
All of that to say, we don't live strapped down to our mortgage anymore.
Man, that's so
And so
good.
we got the camper, and I think that there is a legit pop-up to like RV, full-time RV pipeline. Like you get the pop-up just to like kind of test it, and you're like, maybe I want to go camping more. I'm gonna get a pop-up camper because it's super inexpensive. You can get one for like $5,000 or less. And if you don't like it, you can typically sell it for what you paid for. And then like you come out clean on the other side. You're like, this is good. We got the pop up and it was like maybe 8 months later. We're camping at Tim's Ford State Park. And we have both of the boys there and the dogs there. And I've got like 4 totes of only the essentials. Like I had packed down to literally like the food we needed to eat, the clothes that were going to go on our back, and sometimes maybe the boys rewore clothes because who really cares? And like stuff to sleep. And that was it. And we were overloaded inside of that space. We had planned a trip that next summer for the beach, and we were going to go in the pop up. And absolutely not. I looked at Nick and I was like, look, I think it is time for us to trade this in and we're going to have to get a travel trailer. So we found a 26-foot one that we really liked, got it from Bankston Motors in Alabama. It's a bunkhouse. We've had it for a solid 3 years and it'll be a 5 to 8 year camper for sure. Like there is nothing about it that I'm like, fundamentally, I cannot do this anymore. Even with the dog, even with both the boys, all of the things. We have made it exactly what we want it. And what I love about it is that, like, we've done the math on going different places. Like, we're going to do a quick trip to Gatlinburg. Even if we were to drive my car, which gets much better gas mileage than the truck and the camper, with the camper payment, with the gas, with the like adventuring that we do there, and with the overnight stay, we still save like 250 bucks per trip to Gatlinburg, which is a winner in my book. This summer we did a lot of camping. If you are going to camp and do like the state park thing, well, honestly, even if you're going to go somewhere that's like a high ticket item, like we were thinking about going out to Colorado, the geysers. Mm, Things are hard to remember whenever I'm talking so much. But there's a place out there that like you have to book it a year in advance if you're going to stay at the state park inside of where all of the fun stuff is. But it's the same thing with the beach. You have to book it a year in advance. So right now we are working through things that I planned this time last year. And I'm already planning for next year what that looks like. But the beach in Florida, you can go to a state park and stay for like 25 bucks a night.
I'll be dang.
I'll beach dang.
I'll beach dang. I see what you did there. Good stuff.
Was it good? It was okay.
It's questionable. But.
I mean, we made it. So we went to the beach this summer and it was fantastic. I did on a whim, I did a TikTok on like 3 of my favorite camper hacks, RV hack things. And it was like a door handle and then 2 faucets inside of the camper that we had upgraded. And people were asking me for links. I love a good link. I did not know people would ask me for links. Like I had like maybe 300 followers. Like, I don't have the credentials for somebody to say, "Can you send me a link?" Like they just asked me for one. So I immediately got an Amazon affiliate account and decided to start sharing this link. I posted like maybe 5 or 6 TikToks with all the different things that I like, and I'm telling you, Trent, like people were clicking the link.
You got to be rich.
I have quit everything. At this
Real
point
estate,
in my life, I'm just a recreational podcaster. I'm just here for funsies. I gotta stop saying funsies.
I like
Take
it.
a drink every time Rachel says funsies.
That would be fun.
Um,
Funsies.
it would
Oh boy.
be terrible for
You're rubbing
anybody who's
rubbing off on me.
listening to it.
So you made millions of
I
dollars from your
did.
affiliates.
Millions of dollars. I could
Man,
stay at a, Florida campsite for a half of a night with
wow.
that
Damn.
$16.50 that I made off of, like, 10 faucet sales.
That's impressive.
I thought it was impressive.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you. I was gonna post every day. I mean, I had huge plans, like, I'm
Well,
gonna
get
make
back
it
to it.
big.
Get
M
back to it.
maybe.
It's never too late.
This is the last thing we bought on Amazon was a gas tankless hot water heater. So,
I bet people would. Hey, that's probably got more.
I mean, I'd probably get more money from it, but
Yeah,
how many people just casually are like, "You know what? Yeah, I
probably
think
a
I'm gonna do
lot. You'd
this."
be surprised.
Listen, that's a whole nother derailment.
Hey,
I need to put that on a future episode.
derailment.
But the Amazon affiliate account was huge. It was cracking me up. It was a lot of fun. The trip was a lot of fun. I love going and doing that kind of stuff. We are recreational RVers. I'm not like your crazy outdoorsy type. I saw a meme the other day that said, "Living life to the full does not have to include hiking," and I loved it. I love to hike. Hiking is fun. I do not live to hike.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
If we go in the camper somewhere, typically it's like, this is our vacation, and I will pick and choose. This is the one where we're gonna do all the outdoorsy things, and it's gonna be great, and this is the one where we're gonna eat oven pizzas and never be at the campsite because we're gonna go do other fun things.
That's awesome.
It is, it's a lot of fun. So we'll probably talk about that more. We've got several, Gatlinburg trips. I think for Thanksgiving week, we're gonna go to Virginia.
Nice.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a lot of fun, like Williamsburg, and go and pretend like,
Yeah.
I don't know, the founding fathers?
Are you still there?
Maybe.
I don't know.
I'm gonna make
Probably pretty
Nick
old.
powder his hair.
That's a bad idea.
I don't know, I think it'd be pretty funny. Anyway.
Okay.
It's gonna be a blast. So that is it. We'll talk about more of that as time goes on. Like I said, I think next summer we're gonna go to Mackinac Island, which will be a lot of fun. But I like sharing that kind of stuff. Transitioning into one of my favorite people in Tullahoma. Her name is Candy Kenny. She owns Definite Wellness, which is aesthetics, IV, weight loss, hormones, all that good stuff. She's got a spot in Tullahoma, and she's also got a spot in Shelbyville. And funny story about Candy, she and I are like, we're good friends. And so we would talk back and forth online. We met each other actually when the pandemic started. I got my license in 2020, and then the pandemic hit. So the majority of people I had to meet was online. Did I already say this in this?
Nope, not on this one.
Okay,
That
great.
was one myself.
Just
You can call me
clarifying.
on
I'm
it.
like, this is deja vu. I
Yeah,
have already
you
said this.
definitely said it, but not on this one.
So I met Candy through Instagram and like immediately hit it off. She just is a funny, quirky personality, and we have a lot of fun together. So there was one day that I posted in my Instagram stories, and she was like, "Man, I really wish that I could get at your forehead, like with some Botox." And I didn't take it offensively. I mean, I kind of like did this thing in front of the mirror, like, I don't know, maybe do I need some Botox? Um, Nick is super skeptical about anything aesthetic. He is so sweet in his, "You're beautiful just the way that you are," which is a lot of fun. I'm glad that he thinks that, but also I got Botox for me. I actually we're really going down all the paths of the things that I don't tell my husband. I tell him a lot of things too. So I decided to go and get the thing done, and really just went for like kind of like enhancements. I mean, like I get my hair dyed. I might as well go and get shots put in my forehead too. So we went in and I got the procedure done, and it was way super easy. Mariah did it for me. And the before and after was insane. Like I really thought this is just going to make you look younger and it's not going to be whatever. But in all reality, what it did was let me smile without shutting my eyes. So I have the crow's feet thing, but I also like I scrunch really hard whenever I smile in pictures, and you can't hardly see my eyes. And after I had the LASIK eye surgery, like, you could really tell without my glasses on, that I had squinty eyes whenever I was smiling. So, I got the Botox done, and after about 2 weeks, I saw the full results, and let me tell you, like, I will be doing it over and over again because you really can. Like, I can it's funny to say I can see better, but whenever I smile, I feel like you can actually still see, you can still see my eyes. Now, the difference in the wrinkles on my forehead, I had no idea how wavy my forehead was until after I got it done. The before and after is kinda crazy. Um, Yeah, holding it up side by side was super wild. And now Candy will be in my stories and she'll be like, "Your forehead looks so good." And I'm like, "Well, I know a girl and she's the one that takes care of it." So anyway, if you ever are interested in trying Botox out, but you're looking just for like that super lightweight Botox experience where it's like, I'm not looking to totally change the way that I look at all, period, end of statement, but I would like to enhance some things, then you should go. The forehead definitely was a gateway to the crow's feet. And then I did my nose last time, and I didn't realize what a difference that would make too on the
Yeah, I'm a
scrunchiness on my
scruncher.
nose.
Probably need to go
Yeah.
see your girl.
You should.
Shouts to Candy Kinney.
Shouts to Candy Kinney.
Definite Wellness at Definite Wellness. You can book your session now, 931-434-0439.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
look at me. Doing this
Went
producer thing.
da-da-da-da-da-da.
Yep. There you go.
Did your mom ever listen to Dave Ramsey when you were a kid?
Yes.
Like on the radio, talk radio?
Minimally.
Okay,
That would have been my dad more than my mom, but yeah.
gotcha. Yeah, I would remember sitting in the carpool pickup line for my sister, and I would want to go to sleep, and then the Dave Ramsey theme song would come on, and it would be like a mix of car sickness and if I hear this song one more time, I am going to lose my mind.
That's really funny.
Is that not so funny? I can't listen
Hey,
to that song without
triggering.
it is triggering.
Oh no.
All
All right.
right, transitioning into real estate.
Let's go.
There is one thing I wanted to talk about with real estate today. So last week I went to an event with REN, the Real Estate Investors Network in Rutherford County, and my good friend Scott Mitchell was actually speaking on tertiary markets. So if you know anything about me, if you're listening and you're living in Murfreesboro, then one thing about me is that I live in Tullahoma. I am a tertiary market kind of girl. That is how I live outside of my mortgage, is because I bought a home in a market that I can afford. Tullahoma is a great place to live. It's a great place to grow a family. It's a great place for all kinds of things. We have Publix and Aldi and Marshalls and Old Navy, and we have 22,000 people. Still only takes like 10 minutes to get from point A to point B. You can get completely across town in 10 minutes, which is a miracle because every time I come to Murfreesboro, I'm like, it took me 10 minutes to get from one stoplight to the next.
I know. It's kind of crazy.
It is crazy.
Feel
Eh,
you on that.
that's a different episode. Um, so that is where I live, and that is where I do the majority of my business is in these tertiary markets. So Scott and I met because he was flipping houses in McMinnville, and he is sort of a risk taker, and he saw McMinnville as a market that made a lot of sense for him and his business, and was flipping houses out there. And it was really interesting getting to listen to him speak that night about what it's like to be an investor, what it's like to take some risks. Some of the risks of working in our market is that there's not a lot of contractors. There's not a lot of workers out there that are willing to come and do what needs to be done in order to flip a house. You also have a little bit more. I mean, when you're flipping in like Murfreesboro or Nashville, like people are always moving to Murfreesboro and Nashville. There's a little bit of risk if interest rates all of a sudden double 1 September
Yeah.
2022.
I remember that.
Yeah, it was a fun year. Then, those markets typically take a little bit bigger of a hit than some of the bigger markets. There's just some risk in doing flips out in those areas. But the reward is also really huge too because there's not a lot of investors that are in those spaces. You have people cold calling and sending mailers out to everybody and their mother, literally, in these big markets. And then these smaller markets, there's just not as many. So Scott does a really awesome job. He's actually one of my favorites to work with because he is a very ethical flipper. Like if he goes into a house and he sees a problem, he's not going to transfer a house to somebody that is not livable or safe. He looks to build safe, affordable housing for people. And I really appreciate that about him. But getting to listen was really fun and getting to meet lots of new investors. So I guess I say all of that to say that Scott buys people's homes that like it's like grandma's house. Like a lot of times it just needs a lot of updating inside of it. You still have your like orange carpet on top of hardwood floors that have been hidden for 40 years and probably have a lot of stains on them from pets and drinks and all that kind of stuff. Outdated kitchens, outdated layouts, and he'll go in and help people move out of them. I've actually like witnessed whenever he would go in and sit and talk. There's one that we did in Manchester, and like listening to the way that he talks to the people that he's buying from has been really inspirational too. Where it's like, I'm going to help you get from point A to point B. Sometimes listing on the MLS is not the right answer for some folks. That's coming from a realtor. I really want you to list it on the MLS with me, but that's just not always the best. It's just not always the best for people. And so having somebody come in that is willing to not only help you move from point A to point B, but do it with care is a really cool thing. Um, we are working on one in Shelbyville right now. And really, by the time this podcast goes out, it should be active on the MLS. So you should pay attention and see, like, go and check it out, because I'll have some before and afters on Instagram and all that stuff. But what I love to do is share with people as the houses are being flipped. What flooring would you choose? What color would you choose? If you were to renovate this kitchen, what would you do? It's really neat. And then to get to show the before and after is really cool too. So I say all of that to say, be on the lookout for some of the flips that he's doing in the markets that I work in: McMinnville, Manchester, Tullahoma, Winchester, Estill, Shelbyville. You know, I could name like 15 more. We did one in Lewisburg one time. That was beautiful. It was a gorgeous white house. It was a really fun video to do too. Pay attention to those. And then if you ever know of anybody that is struggling and needs some help getting out of a situation, getting out of their house, then let me know and I can connect you with Scott. If you're somebody that is looking to learn how to invest, the REN network in Murfreesboro is really fantastic. Lots of great people in there sharing their advice. Like, that's really rare, I think, is to be in a group of people that are not like hiding what they're doing at the copier. Like, don't pay attention to what I'm doing because you're going to steal all of my ideas and all of my things. It really feels like there's room at the table for everybody. There's a piece of the pie for everybody. And they're willing to share all of their things. So if you're looking at getting into investing, I'm happy to connect you with some folks as well. Trenton, I think we are done.
Wow. Effective.
I think this was so effective. I have a little timer. I don't know if y'all noticed. I was looking at my
Man,
phone to make
way to
sure
be.
that I was being on top of it.
We're disciplined around here.
We are disciplined after several takes
Couple
of
takes.
mistakes.
Couple takes,
But you know
couple
what?
go-arounds.
We're good. The last time, since I have a couple of spare minutes, we tried to do this a couple weeks ago with the new format. And you know me, like, impulsive, fly by the seat of my pants. Whew, that was an hour hot mess of an episode. And
Hey.
you're welcome, world, for not
We saved you
having
from that one.
that
You
one.
are welcome.
Absolutely.
But this is good.
I thought it was a lot of
We're
fun.
back. You're back.
You're
Feels
back.
good. Feels good to be here with you.
We are
I'm excited about it. The Rachel Farrell Show.
It's a lot of fun. All right, I'll see y'all in 2 weeks, y'all.
Bye.
Thanks so much for listening. A cornerstone of this show is real estate. I got into real estate to help people live outside of their mortgage by buying homes they can afford so that they can use the rest of their resources to live the life of their dreams. How do you do this? Work with great people who love people first. Whether you're looking to buy, sell, or just enjoy chatting about the market, I'm your girl. Keep listening to this podcast for the latest on the market and all things Southern Middle Tennessee. I had a lot of fun with you today. I hope you had fun too. If so, I'd love for you to share this podcast with other people. Like this episode and subscribe to the channel for more. Talk to you soon.